I'm out in corn-on-corn fields today looking for corn rootworm larvae. The growing degree units that we've accumulated suggests that they have hatched. This would have occurred about 2 weeks ago. So now is a good time, and next week is a great time to go out and do some root digs to see what you have going on out there. So first off, we want to start out and measure about 7 inches from that plant. You want a 7-inch cube around that plant of soil. So I'll get started here. There we go. Soil up. You want to make sure that it stays around that root. So this is kind of like what you need. So next, you're going to go to your 5-gallon bucket of water, or you're going to get a black trash sack to determine what you have going on out there as far as corn rootworm larvae activity. So if you're using the bucket method in trying to find corn rootworm larvae, this is how you do it. I've soaked these roots now for a few minutes, so the water should have gone through the soil just a little bit, so it's easy to pull that soil off. So you'll want to swish it around a little bit. You can see that root ball is getting smaller and smaller. That soil's getting washed off in there. So after you've done that, you can wait a few minutes too. The bucket method, as far as you're going to be floating the corn rootworm larvae, they will come to the top. When all this suds, frothy stuff subsides, you will, if you have corn rootworm larvae out in that field, you will see them float to the top of that. Right now, I would say I've been finding mainly the second instar of corn rootworm larvae. There are 3 instars for corn rootworms. The first one is kind of difficult to see. They're really small, but the 3rd instar can get pretty long. But yeah, right now I'm seeing mainly that second instar. So just be patient, wait a few more minutes, and you can see if anything floats to the top. Another method that you can use for checking corn rootworm larvae is a trash sack method. You just want to take that plant and put it on the trash sack, and you know, sometimes we don't have access to multiple buckets of water if we're out in a field and we don't have access to water. This has been a successful method for me in the past. And what you basically do is just put the plant there on that trash sack and gently go through the soil around that plant roots, and then determine what all you have going on out there. One thing that I didn't mention earlier, when you do the bucket method or the trash sack method, you also want to look at those brace roots, nodal roots, to see if there's any larva feeding going on, or if they're actually burrowed in those areas. I have found that in the past, little corn rootworm larvae that are in there feeding. After you find or don't find your larvae, it would be a good idea to go and get power wash those roots if you have a power washer, or just go out and really get that soil off those roots, and then you can check to see if there's any damage going on.